Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. So, taking refuge in this wisdom, we briefly talked about refuge, isn't it? We talked about refuges. So, if we take refuge in this wisdom, so what are the benefits? So, wisdom, what is it we should understand about the wisdom? Number one, all of us are karma yogis. Yogi, we all want some benefit. So in that way we want to unite with a good benefit, karma yogi. Without karma we cannot survive even for a second. Karma చేయకుండా ఒక్క నిమిషం కూడా ఉండేదానికి అయ్యేలేదు. Now, towards this, which is the center for doing the karma?
So what is the center?
Center for karma.
The body.
Center.
Intellect? Intellect?
No. Mind. Because mind is the seat of gunas. So gunas make us do our actions. Isn't it?
Differentiate mind and intellect.
Yeah, that is the subtle difference. It's not a physical entity, but that part of it which gives you right and wrong is the intellect. Thinking. Mind is just with the guna, goes on with that.
Okay.
So, taking this wisdom means for your actions with the mind, you need this wisdom. Right? So, what should the mind do? Mind should take refuge in intellect. Now, if the mind doesn't take refuge in the intellect, what is the outcome? That means the refugees who were in a center of unhappiness are living so unhappily, they want to escape from that. Isn't it? The country where they come from or the district where they came from, they were suffering. So, the life we are living now, we are suffering. So, we want to be the refugees who want to escape from that life. So then the government has to decide. So you have to go to the government called intellect. And that government has to take up the decision. Yes, it says everybody is welcome, the wisdom. But then once you come here, you cannot have your independent way of doing what you want. So the mind, with its own way, through the guna, will want to do the way it wants. So you must not let your mind take up that and send command to the karmendriya. So let your mind not receive the indrika jnanendriyas, the things that are going to make mind work the way it wants. So that is the rules for taking refuge in the intellect. So, intellect is the one that gives us the jnana. And how do you get that in the intellect is the next question. You can all say, yes, get your intellect. I don't know what the intellect is and what is supposed to be. That's what you asked me the question. Right? Why are you coming here? What's the purpose of coming?
Peace.
You want to learn the wisdom.
Wisdom. Okay, yeah.
So where do you want to get the wisdom from? Not from me. Where do you want to get the wisdom from? Why do the students go to the class? The school, they go to the school.
Okay. Study.
So you are coming to the school.
Right.
So this school is teaching about our philosophy. Isn't it? So when you go to the school, you have a certain rules and regulation, isn't it? So what you should say, your mind should not be like a toddler's mind. Toddler's mind will not sit quiet at any one place at any one time. So you have to train that. You must train to listen. You must train to think. You must train to get your understanding of it. All of that you have to do. Similarly, you have come here. Now the teacher has got some standard books to teach. He cannot get a story book and teach, can he? Right. So those standard books are called as the Shastras for that education. So that's the material one. But still better. It makes you do karma in the right way where it won't hurt. Whereas here you come to the Shastras. So the wisdom at the school comes from the textbooks. The wisdom in these satsangs comes from authoritative sources. What are the authoritative sources, Raju? Good. Yeah.
Vedas, Upanishads.
First is Vedas. So Vedas are the authoritative source, the knowledge. That's where the wisdom came. So who was first taught the Vedas? Brahma. By Vishnu, Narayana. Narayana taught the Vedas to Brahma. He didn't sit in front of Vishnu for hundreds of years. He just got the gist of it because he had the knowledge. He absorbed it. For us, so what happened? So Brahma, he is busy in the process of creation. He said, there is the Veda, I am following the Veda, you do it. So what did he need? He needs people to bring it out. So he said, I want children. That's what Vishnu said. Brahma, you create. So you create normally as well, but you create that population that will get the knowledge of the Vedas and will teach you others. So that is why Manu brought Brahmanas to teach that. But in that process there were rishis. So the rishis took up the Vedic knowledge, and Bhagavan Vedavyasa was the leader in that. He made it easy for the rishis to understand. He did not make it easy for us to understand. So his generation, propagation, and that came to Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya gave it in an easy format because he was from this millennium, not from past millennium.
From last millennium.
And last millennium. Yes. Whereas Krishna was 5 millenniums away. And Ramayana period, it was about 20 or 30 millenniums away. We don't know the time. So, situation according to the how people are living to make them understand in their language. But at the same time help them to get better. So the wisdom has to be transferred from the Vedas to the intellect through the medium of the teachers, gurus. So those gurus, like primary school to the college level, they have always, and there in the hospitals, clinical tutors. They are the gurus. So you are supposed to learn in that way and get more and more to what you need. So that knowledge to be given to the intellect. So when you said, what is the intellect? When you hear what has been said by the Guru, when you do the manana, what is said by the Guru, when you know the nididhyasa for that, your intellect is born. And that intellect, for a spiritual side, it helps you to give the message to the mind. At the end, only you and the mind can do it. Nobody else can do it. These are all the guidance. So, is that clear now? Okay? Now, taking refuge in the wisdom. So, that refuge means only a refugee is entitled to benefit. Isn't so, unless you become a refugee, you won't get benefit of the Shastras. And you should act like a refugee. And where should you do? The refugee in the knowledge. That's the wisdom. And the pramana or the authority is the Vedas. So Bhagavad Gita is in a smaller, simpler way, has given that. But it has got a lot of secret words and secret messages to understand, but we are not going into that. We are here to make it easier. Now, so taking refuge in this wisdom. So what is the benefit? They attain my being. They. Who are they? Terry?
The sadhakas.
Fine. Okay, still
First sloka.
more. Still.
Who are they?
Yeah.
They attain, that's those who are taking refuge.
Yes. The first sloka he said about all the munis, remember?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, those higher evolved sources, they have taken refuge in him despite the fact they are highly knowledgeable. The rishis were highly knowledgeable. They could have had ego and said, I am it. That is why nobody gave the name from Vyasa to Shankaracharya. Only 5 or 6 gurus name we come across. Not every generation. Huh?
All Vyasa only. Rishis.
Yes, Sanaka Sanandana.
They didn't have any name.
Yeah. No, it came to Vyasa. I'm just saying from that parampara we are going. So, but when they took refuge, these higher evolved sources, to the highest refuge that is in the Vedas. So, then we look from our angle. So, those of us who are taking refuge in this thing, they, if it think that it's directed to us, yes, we'll have to say, it is not an exclusive one for the rishis, it is for them. So he says, yes, they also can, if they are interested, they want to learn. So, if they take that refuge, what is the first condition for them to? They cannot have their own way. So, our gunas cannot have our own way. That's the only way. Then you say, I don't know my gunas. That's why this chapter. Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. So, let my gunas take refuge in that. Right? In me means supreme knowledge. Then they are neither born at the time of creation. So, what do you understand? Terry, can you understand that? They are neither born at the time of creation.
Does it mean that they lose they become immortal in the sense that they don't have any body identity?
They lose their body identity. So, birth and death does not mean anything to them. So, in other words, they become Advaitins. Okay? So, that is what it means. Nor they are destroyed at the time of dissolution. So, destruction means you feel, oh, it's destroyed, I am destroyed. But Advaitin has no identification. So, he does not go through any of that. So, the highest munis, by knowing about the gunas, they became gunatitas, jivan muktas, they became Advaitins. So, we have to follow in that line of thought, but say we don't want to immediately go for Advaita because we are still in the primary class. You have to go to many, but so that is why this chapter is to contemplate and reflect on the gunas, Sravana, Manana, and then Nididhyasa on what is the purpose of knowing about gunas. Unless you know why you want to know about gunas, what's the benefit? Because gunas are my day-to-day bread and butter. So, if I don't have the gunas, there is no bread and butter. So, I have to know which bread is good, which butter is good, and which food is not good, which food is going to be injurious to me. So, if I can take on that basis, then think before you act. That is the Nididhyasa. So, if you take all of that, you become Jivan Mukta. So, in other words, what do you need? You need the strength. What is the strength? Yeah, strength of the sattvic gunas of Pandavas.
Mental sustenance.
Yeah, Pandava strength supported by Krishna. So they are ready to fight the massive strength of the Kauravas. So victory comes there. At the time of dissolution, you don't come back. This is the reason we have got what is called as a strategy. You understand what is strategy?
Strategy is vision.
Plan of action.
Plan of action.
With vision.
Vision, yeah.
With wisdom. You must have wisdom to plan a strategy. So, you've gone through what we have done in the last 15 years. Has the strategy by anybody right? Tony Blair, Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, Brexit, and our government, Indian government. So, all of that. So, instead of that, you say, has my strategy been right all this time? So, you look at yourself and see where I am, what I am, how I am, where am I going? Now, if somebody is going somewhere, what do you need? What do you need, Raj, if somebody is going somewhere?
We need to know where we want to go.
That's a knowledge.
Yeah.
You have to have a knowledge of where to go, isn't it?
Yes.
So, now we say that we are going to London by a marathon walk. But to do so, we must know the direction where London is. And you have to take side paths also to reach that point. But then if you don't know it, what do the people call you as? Ignorant. Mudha. So our Shastras call us Mudhas for those who want the spiritual path to reach the destination but going in the wrong path. So many of them are not aware of that. They are happily walking along, thinking this is the path, and they end up in trouble. So Gita, this chapter, is for Mudhas to become knowledgeable. So you have lost the track. Now you decided you want to get the track. The track has been said in the 13th chapter, Kshetra Kshetrajna, Vibhaga Yoga. So to follow that path, you have to know about Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. So